All right, so we're going to take a look at this unique entertainment video titled Brendan Schaub trashes Nate Diaz again. Because this isn't the first time. All right, he's done this. He's called Nate Diaz out to fight. Nothing ever happened. What's he saying now? Let's see what we got.
Just to try and get a fight happening?
No, I think too, yes and no. I mean, listen, both of them are great at marketing. So what Jake's saying is, you know, Jake's punching power is not great. He's never been a knockout artist.
Yeah.
But compared to Ben Askren or, the
guy Nate Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson, like some of these guys that he fought.
Come on.
He punches harder than them. But to his point, like, yeah, Nate's a volume puncher. He's not a one-shot type of dude. That's what he's saying in a very derogatory way. That's all it is.
I will say,
Him
though,
and Theo laughing are
in
hilarious.
MMA, Nate takes his lunch.
You know, I have to agree with Brendan there. Nate Diaz is not a finisher. He's not a guy that's going in there and finishing a fight in 2 rounds, in 1 round. Now, is that his style? Is that what he's choosing to do? Or is he hard to beat? You know, is it easy to knock Nate Diaz out? No. Is it easy for him to knock people out? No. But him versus Jake Paul, in any capacity, Jake's just a bigger dude. And we've seen what happens when Nate faces guys that are bigger than him. You know, Jorge Masvidal is a prime example. Well, I don't know. Will it ever happen? Probably not. But you got to love a Brendan Schaub take on MMA. Being relevant to any degree.
I don't know.
Because Jake is not Logan, where he's not like, I mean, he could wrestle, but he's not like a great wrestler. And he's
Compared
not
to Nate wrestling, like Nate has 0 wrestling. He has just jiu-jitsu takedown, so trips, stuff
Sure.
like that. So a good wrestler can usually negate that stuff.
But I watched Logan get tapped by Izzy, and out of the two, I'd say that Logan is the better grappler of the 2 brothers.
Probably. It's just whenever you make these predictions, though, it's like, let's see, because if you watch Nate versus Jorge or Nate versus Jake in just boxing, he's definitely, on the wrong side of.
Yeah, to me, he's like a swimmer. You know, the Diaz brothers are like, cardio athletes. They're guys that can do marathons or triathlons, shit like that. Not MMA. It's not good for him. Nate Diaz already talks like he's been punched in the head 1 million times. We want to get him punched in the head a few more million? That's insane. And Jake Paul hits pretty goddamn hard. To knock somebody out with boxing gloves is a whole nother level of strength when it comes to striking.
40.
Sure.
So it's like you can tell he's getting a little older, a little slower. So how's that look in MMA? And Jake's not old. So I don't know. I would love to see that fight in MMA.
Yeah, as much as people hate.
I would hope Nate wins. I would hope. That's his thing. I would
That's embarrassing.
UFC fraternity, I'd hope he beats the kid that's never fought MMA. That would suck. And also for Jake Paul, like the kahunas on the balls on this fucking kid.
Here's my thing with Brendan saying that they're both good marketers, being Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. And it's like they're not doing anything other than, saying a thing. Everybody else just takes it and runs with it as if there's a future possibility of any of these things happening. And in most cases, they won't, right? Somebody's not going to get the money they want. It's just too much effort. And the real thing that I'm finding to be the most insane is having to fight in your 40s. After you've retired or left the organization that gave you a career, you still have to fight? Why? You couldn't find anything else to do. It's weird.
Yeah, I've never fought MMA. I'll fight Nate Diaz. You're like, what? Like, that's not an easy day in the office.
People could talk all the shit about Jake as they want, but when it comes to people who know how to sell a fight and make money, he knows better than anybody. Because he's like, okay, if I'm going to go into UFC or into MMA and fight somebody, why not someone that I've already proven I could knock out?
Again, this guy is just some weirdo. I don't know who he is. I don't know why he's on this podcast. I don't know how they found him. But he keeps showing up on Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub projects. And boy, what a dipshit, huh? Just a dumb guy. Just a dumb person. I just said that Jake Paul's not doing anything marketing-wise to make these things happen. He's just saying things about specific people that he knows somebody will clip it and send it to that person and get that person hyped up. It's trolling. That's really all it is. Get the reaction.
There's that, and then also, even though he didn't knock him out, but also with Anthony Joshua, it's like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm gonna do boxing, but I want to fight the big boys to make all the money. You're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
And you could hate on it all you want. I think he's smart in that sense where he's like, all right, if I'm gonna get into this, I'm gonna make all the money.
Agree, and I think he knows this isn't like a 10, 15-year career.
No.
I think he's like, I'm gonna make all the money possible, get my name as big as it can possibly be, and then...
You know, of course the guy with the New York hat on thinks Jake Paul is some sort of genius. Of course people that choose to be around Brendan Schaub think Jake Paul is a genius, right? That just makes the most sense to me. I mean, it's stupid being surrounded by stupid. Nobody, I mean, even Chin hasn't chimed in even one time. Not to say that he's the brightest crayon in the box, but out of the three of them, you could understand why he's staying out of it. Like, there's not even any point in saying... Because this guy in the New York hat has said 2 different times now, you can hate on him all you want. So you're a fucking Jake Paul fanboy? Brendan Schaub fanboy? What a fucking douche. But either way, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.